Today, we are creating the ultimate heavyweight boxer bracket. This will be a tournament of the 16 greatest heavyweight boxers of all time. While accolades and resume is important, this tournament will be based off styles, because as the saying goes, styles make fights. So, who will be the champion? Let's introduce our boxers. At the number 1 seed, Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time, lightning fast hands, incredible footwork, and the sharpest mind in boxing history. A 3-time heavyweight champion who redefined the sport. At number 2, Joe Louis. The Brown Bomber dominated the division for over a decade, holding the heavyweight title for nearly 12 years, longer than anyone else. A true knockout artist with textbook fundamentals. At number 3, Lennox Lewis. A masterful boxer-puncher with an elite jab and crushing right hand. The first undisputed heavyweight champion in the 4-belt era and one of the smartest tacticians in the division's history. At number 4, George Foreman. One of the hardest punchers ever, destroyed Frazier and Norton in his prime, and then made the greatest comeback in boxing history by winning the heavyweight title again at age 45. At number 5, Larry Holmes. Arguably the best jab in heavyweight history, he dominated the division in the late 70s and 80s, defending his title 20 times with incredible toughness and skill. At number 6, Evander Holyfield, a warrior with a granite chin and endless heart, the only 4-time heavyweight champion, known for his legendary battles with Foreman, Tyson, Bowe, and Lewis. At number 7, Joe Frazier, the relentless pressure fighter who gave Ali his first loss in the fight of the century. His left hook was one of the most dangerous weapons in boxing. At number 8, Mike Tyson. The most feared heavyweight ever. Explosive speed, power, and head movement made him an unstoppable force in the late 80s. He became the youngest heavyweight champion at just 20 years old. And number 9, Rocky Marciano. The only heavyweight champion to retire undefeated, 49-0. A relentless pressure fighter with a legendary right hand. Number 10, Vladimir Klitschko. Dominated the heavyweight division for over a decade with his size, power, and surgical jab. One of the most disciplined and technically sound big men in history. Number 11, Jack Dempsey. One of the most ferocious heavyweights of the early 1900s. His aggressive style and devastating punching power made him the sport's first true superstar. Number 12, Floyd Patterson. The first 2-time heavyweight champion. A speedy, explosive fighter known for his quick combinations and iconic peekaboo style. Number 13, Riddick Bowe. A gifted big man with a rare mix of size, skill, and toughness. His trilogy with Holyfield remains one of the greatest rivalries in boxing history. Number 14, Alexander Usyk. The newest member of heavyweight greatness. A slick, intelligent southpaw who became undisputed at cruiserweight before outboxing Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury to become undisputed at heavyweight. Number 15, Jack Johnson. The first black heavyweight champion who dominated in the early 1900s. His defensive mastery and counterpunching ability were ahead of his time. And number 16, Vitaly Klitschko. The tougher and more skilled of the Klitschko brothers, with an iron chin and knockout power. Never lost a fight without injury stopping him and had one of the best KO percentages in heavyweight history. So now, let's get to the bracket. So we have a simple bracket, nothing too fancy. Try to find something more fancy. Would have liked to have some pictures of the boxers, but I'm sure we all know who Muhammad Ali looks like. George Foreman, right? Can't win them all. So let's take a look at the first matchup. Number 1, Muhammad Ali versus number 16, Vitaly Klitschko. This would be a very close fight, very tough fight for Muhammad Ali. Vitaly Klitschko is bigger, he's stronger, has a very good chin, very powerful. Muhammad Ali does have a very good chin as well. Okay, Muhammad Ali accomplished more with belts, accomplished more with just a better resume. But, this would be a very tough fight when it comes to styles. I think Muhammad Ali will pull away with it barely. Barely. He has this chin. He has the outboxing ability to be able to simply outbox Vitaly Klitschko. Once again, this is a guy, Muhammad Ali, who went 15 rounds multiple times, before the era of Vitaly Klitschko. I think Muhammad Ali would make it happen, make it work. This would go to the very end, be a very close war. Give me Muhammad Ali. Moving on to the next round. So let's take a look at our second matchup now. Number 9 seed Rocky Marciano versus number 8 seed Mike Tyson. Rocky Marciano, a legend, retired undefeated, 49-0. A lot of his wins came against older guys. But the thing with Rocky Marciano the most was he was undersized. Mike Tyson was undersized as well. Probably about the same height. Both of them are. Mike Tyson weighed about 20, 25 pounds more. Rocky Marciano was fighting a lot of his heavyweight fights at 185 to 190 pounds. Just simply too small. Had there been a cruiserweight division at the time, Rocky Marciano would have been probably one of the best cruiserweights of all time. If Rocky Marciano was fighting today, he'd obviously be at either light heavyweight or cruiserweight, and he'd probably be one of the better or the best boxer in that division right now. But Mike Tyson already would just simply be too much for Rocky Marciano, be too strong. One uppercut probably send Rocky Marciano down. Rocky Marciano is a very tough fighter, but once again, Mike Tyson was just too big, too fast. Give me Mike Tyson. All right, let's look at this next matchup now. Larry Holmes Number 5 seed versus Floyd Patterson. I think this is going to be a pretty easy fight for Larry Holmes. Gonna jab him up, and he's going to move to the next round. No disrespect to Floyd Patterson. No disrespect to anybody on this list that I don't have winning. Riddick Bowe versus George Foreman. This would be a good fight, but I think whether it's an old George Foreman or a young George Foreman, I think he beats Riddick Bowe either way. I think he probably stops him. Give me George Foreman. Let's take a look at this next matchup now. Number 3, Lennox Lewis first. Number 14, Alexander Usyk. This is probably one of the best matchups on this list. Let's take this serious now. Alrighty. Lennox Lewis, great jab, very skillful fighter. Alexander Usyk, though, probably one of the most skillful boxers in heavyweight history. I mean, you just got to admit that. I know a lot of people don't like to give recency bias, don't like to give the new guys, the young blood, a lot of credit. But, I mean, you could just see it in the ring. Usyk's a very talented fighter who beat many different types of styles. This is going to be a very hard fight for Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis fought smaller guys like Tyson, knocked him out. Usyk's not so much a smaller guy. He's 6'3", but he's smaller compared to today's heavyweights. Back then, not so much. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, Lennox Lewis accomplished more, beat better guys. But skill-wise, when we're talking about matchups, guys, I don't know. I don't know. Picking Usyk over Lennox Lewis is going to turn a lot of heads. But I think Usyk has the ability to outbox him. I don't know. I really don't know. The closest matchup we saw with a Usyk versus Lennox recently would have been Usyk versus AJ. Now, of course, Lennox is much better than AJ. Better jab, more skillful fighter. AJ's probably more powerful. But Usyk, of course, outboxed him. Tyson Fury, not so much of a similar style to Lennox Lewis. Tyson Fury likes to move a lot more, better footwork. Not as powerful, not the best jab. So that's a different bit of a style. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Usyk, he knocked down Dubois with a jab, knocked him out. I don't know. This is a really tough style, guys. This is a very tough fight. My gut's telling me Usyk. I'm sorry. Give me Usyk beating Lennox Lewis. That's crazy. That's gonna get a lot of hate in the comments, but I think when it comes to styles, I think Usyk gets it done. Jack Dempsey, number 11 versus number 6, Evander Holyfield. Jack Dempsey, a very tough warrior first time, but I think Evander Holyfield would be too much for him. Number 7, Joe Frazier versus number 10, Vladimir Klitschko. This is gonna be a tough one as well. Joe Frazier, one of the smaller heavyweights, incredible left hook, but Vladimir Klitschko. He got sent down by AJ later on in his career. Got sent down a couple times, Vladimir Klitschko. I think a left hook lands on Klitschko. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I think Klitschko is going to go down if Joe Frazier lands that. Joe Frazier's a tough fighter. Very tough fighter. Going to be on in the inside. Vladimir Klitschko is fighting a lot of guys who weren't as skilled, weren't as fast, that he could just throw the 1-2s and clinches. I don't think he's going to be able to do that with Joe Frazier. Give me Joe Frazier. Probably landing a good left hook might be putting Klitschko's lights on. I don't know, but give me Joe Frazier definitely. In the last fight, Jack Johnson versus Joe Louis. Very tough fighters, of course, for their time, but give me Joe Louis. I think Joe Louis stops him. Alrighty, now we're on to the second round. I don't know if you guys are still watching ever since they picked Usyk over Lennox Lewis to win, but hey, styles make fights, guys. Muhammad Ali now versus Mike Tyson. Probably the most fantasized fight of all time. Everyone always talks about it. Who wins, Ali or Tyson, right? This is all prime for prime too. All the guys in their prime. Mike Tyson was a powerful boxer, good boxer, but he beat a lot of guys that were C level guys, C and B level guys. He beat Larry Holmes, yeah, when Larry Holmes was past his best. Alrighty. Mike Tyson really never fought guys who moved the way Ali did, who flicked that jab multiple times, several times, was fast like Ali did, who had good IQ, who moved around just simply as Muhammad Ali did. And if he did, well, he lost. I mean, he lost to Lennox Lewis. He lost to Evander Holyfield. Mike Tyson did. Muhammad Ali, I think, will be too much. He won't get knocked out. No one's getting knocked out in the fight. Muhammad Ali is a very good chin. Joe Frazier couldn't stop him, knocked him down, but Joe Frazier couldn't stop Muhammad Ali. Mike Tyson probably won't either. Muhammad Ali would be too much. I think Ali would win this fight by decision. Larry Holmes versus George Foreman. This would be a very good fight. Let's see how George Foreman reacts to that jab. Not the best against the jab George Foreman was, but once he got inside, he could definitely send a guy like Larry Holmes down. This could be a very tough fight, very close fight, but give me George Foreman. Usyk versus Holyfield. Definitely a good fantasy match as of late, with especially both of them being former undisputed cruiserweight champions, then bumping up to heavyweight and becoming undisputed in that division as well. This would be a very good style fight. Usyk versus Holyfield. Holyfield would make this a lot tougher, but gotta give me Usyk. Number 7, Joe Frazier versus number 2, Joe Louis. Joe Louis was a bit flat-footed. I don't think he'd be able to. He'd make this tough. He'd make this tough. I don't know if he could beat Joe Frazier. I think Joe Frazier might be able to knock out Joe Louis. This is gonna be a very good close fight. Give me Joe Frazier. Let's see now. We got Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, and Usyk versus Frazier in the final four. Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman. Well, we already knew how that went. Ali was a bit outside of his prime against a prime George Foreman, and he stopped him. Now, it's weird because if Foreman approached that fight differently, not trying to, you know, do the way he did, I gas out, throwing dumb punches, should have been more patient. Of course, hindsight 2020, if Foreman was to go back to that fight, he would approach it differently, and maybe Foreman might have won. But Ali, of course, one of the most masterful performances in boxing history using the rope-a-dope style. Obviously, Ali beat him, right? He stopped him, knocked him down. More because Foreman was gassed, he was tired, he had nothing left in him, and he just fell down because of exhaustion. Not so much the power of Ali. But if Foreman approaches differently, Foreman could definitely beat Ali, right? Especially an older Foreman, a more patient fighter could beat Ali. But prime for prime, I have to stick with what happened in history, right? Ali still beats George Foreman regardless. Whether he approaches it differently, Ali would just be able to outbox George Foreman. Usyk versus Joe Frazier. Now, probably the toughest fight so far for Usyk. That great left hook of Joe Frazier. He's going to be in, going to keep walking you down. Joe Frazier's not going to be scared of you. He's going to be a lot for Usyk. But I think with Usyk, he's going to be able to move around him, use that footwork, keep his distance and just simply be able to outbox him, not get caught. But if he did get caught, Joe Frazier would definitely put him out. But Usyk, I think, will be able to simply outbox him. Going to be a very, very tough fight. Give me Usyk moving on to the championship fight. All right, folks. Muhammad Ali versus Alexander Usyk. Now, once again, you're asking, how did Usyk make it this far? Styles make fights, guys. Usyk's a very skillful fighter, one of the most skillful boxers in history. These two, probably the most skillful heavyweights of all time, probably the most fastest heavyweights of all time, better footwork of all time at the heavyweight division. Styles make fights prime for prime. I look at it this way. Tyson Fury gave Usyk a tough fight. Tough fight. Toughest fight of Usyk's career. People don't like to admit this as well, but Fury and Ali had similar styles. I'm sorry they do, but the flick the jab, good footwork, moving around, showboating, you're right, great head movement, right? Not keeping the hands up too much, just like Ali did. Now, of course, Ali's better than Tyson Fury, but similar styles. Usyk fought a guy similar to him. Thing with Ali and Usyk, they're about the same height. So I don't know if that would affect Usyk as much the way Fury did. Okay. Fury hit a lot of uppercuts, a lot of straight right hands on Usyk. Ali would be able to do the same thing. Ali's a bit more skilled, a bit more conditioned. I don't think if Ali was to get caught by Usyk, it'd really affect him as much compared to Fury. Fury, he has heart. He gets knocked down, he gets back up, but he doesn't have a good chin like Ali did. I think I have to go with Ali beating Usyk once again. I think I have to go Ali beating Usyk. I think Ali, a prime Ali, nobody really beats Ali. The styles are just when it just comes to styles, nobody beats Ali. Usyk would give him a very tough fight. It'd go to decision. But I think Ali gets it done, winning by probably a split decision victory. Give me Muhammad Ali. But this is what I got. 16 heavyweights, the bracket. Who comes on top? I still think Muhammad Ali does. Okay. But number 14 seed Alexander Usyk make it all the way to the championship. Still impressive. So it's not like, oh yeah, the 1 and 2 seed made it. No. Ali, Usyk, Ali comes on top. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think of this bracket. Who are some matchups where you're like, what? You disagree with me about? Hey, that's fine if you disagree with me about. Let me know down in the comments. I'll be happy to talk to you about it. And then, also talk about who do you think I left out on this list? Maybe Tyson Fury, I left him out. Maybe John L. Sullivan, I left out. Old guy, right? Maybe I left out some other boxers that you're thinking should have been on this list, should be considered. Maybe you disagree with the seating. Let me know down below in the comments. I had a fun time making this. I'm out, guys. Peace.